And good morning once again. Welcome to Virginia This Morning. I'm Cheryl Miller along with Bill Bevins, and we're starting our Monday show with a conversation about Social Security. Yeah, the system was actually set up over 80 years ago, back in 1935, as a way to help pay retired workers age 65 or older in income after retirement.
And a lot of us are now hearing that Social Security won't be around by the time we need it. Is that a myth or is it reality? We know somebody that knows. Local financial expert J.B. Bryan is here to bust some common myths about Social Security. Hey, girl. Welcome, J.B.
It's good to be here. And basically, we all should just retire right now. So
okay,
let's just
we're
go.
out.
Exactly. The good news is...
You don't have to push me.
Exactly, right? But the bad news is that we can't. But I'm glad that you brought up that point in the introduction about the big myth that Social Security is going to disappear. And I hear it over and over. I can't depend on that. But in reality, since 1984, so that's since before I graduated from high school, they have had a surplus in Social Security.
They got extra money?
They have extra money. So
Can we get more?
That's right. So the rumor started because of the calculations that say in 2020 that there'll be a decline and there might begin to be a deficit where they would have to reduce payments by about 25%. But actually right now there is a surplus. But when they do the calculations, they say, well, I think there'll be a lot more people retiring from 2020 on. So if Congress does nothing, then there will be a reduction for Bill's check. But most likely Congress will do something.
We didn't put it in the lockbox, did we? Congress can still get at it if they want to.
They can still make these changes. They had to do that for Social Security disability that we'll talk about next week. But they actually, had to make changes for that program. So they do the buckets one at a time. But this is the next bucket to really look into.
So in 3 years, it's still going to be there for us.
In 3 years, there'll still be a surplus. And we got to get a lot of people to work.
Okay. Another myth that we talk about is I put money into the Social Security system. That's my money I'm getting back out when I retire. But that's not true, right?
That's exactly. You're right. It is not true. It is not your money. You do get money out, but a person retired today is getting our money. So when you retire, you'll be getting the money.
That's the marital R.
That's right. That's right. They're getting our hard-working payroll taxes are going to the people retired right now.
So it's kind of a pay-ahead system.
It's when you're paying now, you're paying those. Yes, you
those
paid ahead.
Retired,
you're right.
Yeah.
That's right. That's a good way of looking at it. So
it's not a dollar for dollar because we see that money come out of our check, but that's not the dollar for dollar money that we're going to get out of the system.
That's right. So when there was talk about getting a lump sum, I guess it was challenging to say, like, how will we connect Cheryl's lump sum to her since we've already been spending, the money that she's been putting in.
Mine's gone.
Well, you can calculate it, right? But indeed,
and it's a different thing.
Yes, indeed, you are funding retirees right now. So everybody at home that's retired, I am happily working for you. That's right.
We all are.
All
right. So Social Security income is tax-free ?
Yeah, that's right. I'm glad you said the question there. That is a myth because Social Security can be taxed. And
I'm really not liking this.
That's right. That's right. We're going to dispel everything. Everybody at home has instantly become smarter. It does require tax planning for a lot of people that are retired and they are over the total income threshold. So, and it's not that much, like, over $30,000, you're running into a tax situation in many, especially for a single person who has combined income and they're receiving Social Security.
So is that money that you're earning or is that money coming out of, say, your 401k that's counted as income?
That's counted too.
Oh, wow.
That's indeed. So all of the sources of income, dividends that they're receiving, everything, and then half of their Social Security goes into a combined income bucket. And you'll begin to be taxed if you're over the threshold. And it starts low, and then after they give you a little phase-in process. So it starts at 50% being taxed, and then it goes up to 85% of it can be taxed. And one way they could raise money could be to tax 100%. No, so
don't say that.
Yes, indeed. Or they're going to.
Point?
That's right. Or they're going to change the full retirement age. But you remember that 2020 challenge is going to have to be paid.
So they're going to have to take a closer look at Social Security.
The strategies, that could be one.
Yeah. So what about somebody who's never worked? I mean, in this day and age, that's hard to believe. But what if you've never worked? Can you still get Social Security?
Because there's a lot of people who have never worked outside of the household,
right.
And they actually will qualify for things like their spouse's benefit. So if they're married and they never did the 40 credits, which is approximately 10 years that the Social Security system requires in order to be able to get the Social Security retirement benefit, if they don't qualify that way, then they actually could get from their ex-spouse's benefit, from their deceased spouse's benefit, and their married spouse, they could get a benefit. So they do need to talk to socialsecurity.org, check it out, because even though you may have never worked, never did the 10 years that are required, or just didn't qualify because you didn't get paid enough to qualify for the 40 credits that they require, definitely there's some options there. So the answer that would be a myth, because actually you could have never worked and still get Social
All right,
Security.
Mythbuster, we got like 20 seconds here for the last question. Social Security, not a major income source for most retirees.
There's 40 million people retired right now, and it is a major source. It's like they have some numbers that show that up to 40% of retired people's income is coming from Social Security.
That was them screaming when you said 100% tax on it.
That's right. That's right. And
We
there's
heard
some
them,
people
yeah.
that Social Security is their only retirement income. So, of course, when we discuss, we're talking about how to make sure you're saving now so that you do have supplements to this, but a lot of people don't have any plans at work. So Social Security, yes, indeed, even today is a major source of income for a lot of people.
But it was never meant to be your sole source of income. People used to have pensions, which a lot of people don't
Companies
anymore.
yep.
And now you got your 401k, so it's
What
up
is
to
this
us
word
to
have
pension?
say.
to get it.
What
That's
is
right.
that word?
That's right.
Yeah.
They're declined and matches. People don't participate. If you don't participate, you can't get a company match.
Right.
So we're here to encourage them to do what they have to do to supplement the Social
Well,
Security.
thank you, our Mythbuster, J.B. Bryan, here
Thank
today with
you.
us on this Monday morning.
Thank
JB
you.
offers those free money seminars every Wednesday at noon and on select Saturday mornings at 10 a.m. 3900 West Deer Parkway, Suite 300 in Richmond. Pre-registration is required. Find a link to more information at WTVR.com/VTN.